Hello, everyone. Today I'll be talking about sickle cell disease. What is sickle cell disease? It is a group of inherited red blood cell disorders. It has 6 different types. Usually in healthy red blood cells, they are round, flexible, and carries oxygen. In sickle cell disease, red blood cells are rigid and become C-shaped, which has the hallmark sickle shape that we all know. Now, the red blood cells in sickle cell disease, their lifespan is decreased and their susceptibility of clumping increase, which we call sickling. Clumping causes vaso-occlusion, leading to pain, stroke, and tissue ischemia. Now to the left is a healthy red blood cell, and to the right is a sickle cell red blood cell. And the picture below just depicts the sickle cell clumping. There are 6 types of sickle cell diseases. The first one is hemoglobin SS, and that is the most common and also the most severe, which is hemoglobin anemia, the one that we all know. Hemoglobin SC is the milder form. Hemoglobin SD and SE are rare forms. And hemoglobin with thalassemia is beta plus and beta 0. Now, they all are sickle cell disease, and they all have the same sign and symptoms. They are just different because they have a different a sickle cell trait. Prevalence. Sickle cell disease occur where malaria is or was most common. Therefore, it is most common in people of African descent. It is also seen in Middle Eastern, Asian, Indian, and Mediterranean descent. 1 out of every 365 Black or African American births have sickle cell trait. 1 in 13 Black or African American babies have sickle cell trait. And 1 out of every 16,300 Hispanic American births has the trait. Etiology. Sickle cell disease is actually a beneficial mutation against malaria. It is an autosomal recessive disorder requiring 2 mutated genes, 1 from each parent. 50% chance of being carriers of the disease, 25% chance of inheriting the disease, and 25% chance of inheriting no sickle cell trait. And this is just a picture depicting that. Each parent has the affected sickle cell trait, which passes on to 3 of 4 children, 2 becoming carriers, and 1 inheriting both trait and having the disease. Pathophysiology. The mutation, the amino acid mutation causes valine to be substituted for glutamic acid. And valine is a hydrophobic amino acid. And we know the cellular environment is hydrophilic, which is mostly made up of water, thus causes a crystallization process called polymerization. And polymerization occurs when there is a deoxygenation. Deoxygenation causes polymerization, which causes the exposure of these hydrophobic parts of the hemoglobin tetramers. Thus, they bind to each other to hide the hydrophobic parts. Therefore, the hemoglobin polymers grow rapidly to form long fibers, which causes the red blood cell to become hard and rigid. The change in structure causes clumping and hemolysis, which leads to sickling crisis. This is a picture showing the point mutation of sickle cell anemia. Causes of sickling crisis. The first one is the structure itself. The sickle shape and the rigid and hard structure causes it to clump. Hemolysis, which causes inflammation. Inflammation leads to sickling. 3 is dehydration, decreasing the vascular volume, increasing sickling. 4, low oxygen environment, like we said before, deoxygenation causes polymerization. And 5, stress infections, narrowing of the blood vessels, such as constriction and temperature changes. Hemolysis, because of the structure deformity, it is susceptible to rupture. Now, usually a healthy red blood cell lasts 120 days, and a red blood cell with sickle cell only lasts 7 to 14 days. Now, promotes sickling through inflammation. Hemolysis spills free hemoglobin into the bloodstream, which consumes nitric oxide. And nitric oxide has anti-inflammatory properties. Nitric oxide reduces leukocyte activation, inhibits platelet aggregation, and inhibits pro-inflammatory cytokines. They also causes jaundice due to bilirubin. So the signs and symptoms are jaundice, fatigue because of the low hemoglobin, and pain in hands and feet due to the vaso-occlusions. Screening and diagnosis. We do have prenatal screening available, so we can see who has sickle cell disease. Newborn screening is required in every state. And we can diagnose with using hemoglobin electrophoresis, which shows us the different type of hemoglobins. Risk factors. The only risk factor is being of African, Middle Eastern, Asian, Indian, and Mediterranean descent. Now, our treatments are to treat the underlying cause which are causing the sickling crisis, which can be infection, dehydration, etc. Blood and bone marrow transplant, and we can treat using blood transfusion. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.